I'm not sure. Paranormal mist? It's a mystery. The full apparitions? I want to know what conditions do we need to recreate so that they can appear again.
Although capturing one of these phantom forms is extremely rare, the tiny town of Gettysburg is home to a surprising number of these photographic rarities.
Gettysburg was, of course, a major battle. You had over 51,000 casualties. With all the deaths, obviously, people want to wonder if there's somebody still lingering here.
Perhaps one of the most intriguing apparitions ever caught on camera was taken at the Daniel Lady farm. The farm, once a Confederate encampment and hospital, was littered with the dead and dying.
I took a picture coming up the hill so that I would have like this vista of the land where the tents and the men would have been.
But when Robin's picture was developed, it contained something far spookier.
People actually said to me, wow, what a great monument. And when I said there's no monument there, that was on a farm. It was, where is this place and how do I get there?
Numerous observers feel that the photograph's eerie figure bears a striking resemblance to an infamous Confederate general.
I looked at that picture that night on the computer and was calling everybody and saying, I have a picture that looks like Robert E. Lee.
At first, there seemed to be no historical precedent for Robert E. Lee's ghost to appear at the Daniel Lady farm. But in recent years, researchers have confirmed that Lee held a secret council here on the first night of fighting, undoubtedly making decisions that would cost him the battle and ultimately the war. Could his unsettled spirit still haunt the place where so many lives were wagered?
To me, it's as if General Lee wanted everyone to know he knew they were there. And it's an invitation to help protect hallowed ground.
Perhaps most unusual is that the photograph captured Lee's phantom in broad daylight, when most unexplained photos are taken at dark, using night vision and infrared technologies. But Scott Crownover of the Ghosts of Gettysburg is working on a revolutionary technique that could change ghost hunting forever.
I was wondering if these things seem to appear in the infrared with our night shot cameras that have the ability to see in the dark. How can we take the daylight away?
Hey, Scott.
Let's spot. Let's see what we can do here.
With the help of a spotter and a series of infrared filters attached to a standard digital camera lens, Scott has been able to transform day into night.
Take 3 shots in the same frame. Fire 1. Fire 2. Fire 3. Then I'll move it and do it again. When I look at the pictures after I have them downloaded, I look for anything that is in one picture that is not in the others. Rotate.
Scott's cutting-edge technique has led to a groundbreaking photograph, capturing not one apparition, but 2 in the same frame.
My first success was a year ago here in Gettysburg. I was at Devil's Den, and I was snapping random shots. When I looked at them on the big screen after I had downloaded them, I saw what looked like an apparition of Confederate, the short back cape, heading towards the rocks. And you could see through it because you could see the path through it. The interesting thing was the legs cast a shadow, but yet there was no shadow from the torso. And up on the rocks, there was another column-like apparition that looked like someone standing there. The 2 people with me verified that there was no one there at the time.
The photo, taken only seconds before, showed no trace of either form.
That was the first major hit I had.
As a former Army officer, Scott is a trained observer and natural skeptic.
I'm not committing to say, yes, it's a ghost. I can't prove it's a ghost. You can't prove it's a ghost. No one can prove it. But you can have a photograph that no one can explain. That's what it comes down to.
Since the Devil's Den photo, Scott has captured multiple unexplained apparitions. But he never knows when he'll get lucky.
We can take hundreds, even 1,000 photographs and not get one. It's like winning the lottery. You decide to walk into a store, buy a ticket, and it hits.
Fire 3.
But it was Scott's own protege who hit the jackpot, taking perhaps the most startling ghost photo in Gettysburg history.
Craig Rupp had taken a picture using the technique at Little Round Top. General Warren's statue is in frame, and to the lower left of it, you see what appears to be a reenactor leaning against the rocks. However, you can see through him. The attire he's wearing is perfect for the period. The long frock coat, the short-brimmed cap, perfect. I looked at it and I just went, oh my God, you got it. That's almost the holy grail that we've been looking for.
Could this be the ultimate proof of Civil War ghosts in Gettysburg? Coming up, a shocking recording leaves investigators speechless. And later, the team makes contact with an eerie spirit. Visitors who make the pilgrimage to Gettysburg's fabled battlegrounds get to experience Civil War history firsthand. But those who spend the night at a historic inn might wind up bumping into an authentic veteran of the bloody battle.
It is one of the most historical places in the Gettysburg area, and it is actually one of the most haunted.
2 years ago, when Jack Palladino and his wife purchased the Cashtown Inn, they knew they were buying a landmark of Civil War history. But shortly after they moved in, the inn's ghostly residents introduced themselves to their new roommates.
On a day-to-day basis, my wife and I are dealing with thumping doors, thumping floors, lights being on, doors being locked and unlocked, that are just not explained.
Situated just 8 miles west of Gettysburg, the Cashtown Inn served as ground zero for the Confederate Army during the Battle of Gettysburg.
More Confederate generals walked through our threshold than any other house north of Richmond.
But the Cashtown Inn holds another historic secret. It was also the site of the first casualty of the Gettysburg campaign, roughly 1 week before the actual battle began. On June 26, 1863, 22,000 enemy Confederates descended on the family-run inn. But some of the locals revolted, mortally wounding a Confederate soldier named George Washington Sando.
That Confederate soldier, one shot, was brought down the road to the inn where he was operated in the basement and eventually passed away.
Sando was the first of a long line of Confederates who perished at Cashtown. The eventual death toll forming a continuous wagon train 17 miles long. But a shocking turn-of-the-century discovery suggests that some soldiers stayed long after the Confederate coaches carried away their bodies.
In 1905, they had a picture taken of the innkeeper on the front porch. And that picture was developed. Not only was the innkeeper on the porch, but there was a Confederate soldier that showed up at the front door. So, 1905, we have our first documented ghost picture.
What's more, some have even claimed that the apparition is none other than George Washington Sando himself.
And if you look at the picture, he's dressed in a little Civil War outfit with a kepi cap, standing at attention facing Gettysburg, like I said, doing the job that he was unfortunately not able to do.
The century-old photograph remains one of the most